Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce myself. My name Agung Wibowo. I am from Universitas 11 Maret, Indonesia. I present our paper with title Resilient and Communication Strategy of the Cement Community in Facing the Cement Industry in Central Java, Indonesia. Introduction. The paradigm of development of modernization have directly and indirectly weakened local communities that have a will of local knowledge or local wisdom. Samin farmer, a community often known as Seturusikap, never think about which kind of crop will bring the greatest profit, or which crop have a high selling price. The important thing for them in their farming in the falls is to grow crop that can be used to sustain and support their own life without having to depend on anyone from outside. The local cultural value that are still relevant are policies implemented on a local level. By understanding the Samin cultural value and the way they are implemented as a way of day-to-day life in the Samin community, we will discover a way toward peace, harmony, and preservation of human life. This research aims to describe the form of resilience and communication strategy used by the Samin community in the phase of the development of the cement industry. Literature review. Rogers, a communication strategy is a plan designed to change human behavior. According to Kulfi Chana, define communication strategy as the use of combination of communication phase. Melkot, Srinivas, and Effendi implies the importance of effective planning to understand by communicant and the message convey can be accepted. Redford, a communication pattern in the perspective of ritual is not sender conveying a message to the recipient, but a sacred ceremony in which everyone takes part together and gather as a group. Scott also finds that there is a difference in perspective between real resistance on one hand and incidental or even ephenomenal sign of activity on another. Real resistance is well organized, systemic, and cooperative as principle and is without ulterior motive, has revolutionary consequence, and or contain idea or goal that are fit the basis on domination itself. Research method. This research follow a constructivist paradigm. The research was carried out in the Kendeng Mountain region, which include the Regency of Pati, Rembang, and Blora, because their success in carrying out collective action to resist the development of the cement industry. The research used a qualitative method. The social reality is demonstrated by the existence of conflict that has been resolved by social communication strategy among the Samin community. There is a database of the tiny throats in-depth interview, observation, focus group discussion, and relevant document analysis. Resilience of the Samin community, economic resilience, psychological resilience of the Samin community, social and cultural resilience of the Samin community, and political resilience of the Samin community. Strategy of communication of the Samin community in the face of the development of the cement industry. The Lesungan tradition, a communication strategy for cosmological balance. The Tayub Dins, a communication strategy as for building togetherness. The oral tradition as a communication strategy for building resilience in the Samin community. The Ngelining Oracle maneuver a communication strategy for resilience. The response of the cement community to the development of the cement industry. First, the cement community, according to the interpretation of some, directly reject a market economy that is oriented toward large profit gain in response to outside pressure. Second, the Samin community farm the land only to fulfill its own daily needs and no more, and for this reason it is more appropriately labeled as apathetic. There are a number of things, or perhaps even a paradox, that the researchers found difficult to understand when conducting interview and observation in the field. And this might be take as indicator for helping to analyze the two main ideas mentioned above. The first, on the one hand, the Samin, the Samin people are seen to be leading a restricted or limited exchange. But on the other, they do not want to accept help from outside. Second, Samin people are very weak in their access to the natural resources in the area around them, but on the other hand, they have great concern for the existence of the Kendung mountain. Third, the Samin people continue to plant a crop to support their family needs rather than planting other commodities. But on the other hand, with the modernization of agriculture, their way of life is also being eroded as they begin to use tractor and buy fertilizer from outside. Conclusion: the resilience of the Samin people in responding to change can be seen in economic, social, cultural, psychological, and political aspects. There are several strategies that the Samin Committee has used in the face of the development of the cement industry, whether artificial or symbolic, in the form of dance, maneuver, or play, story, and oral tradition, which are intended as affirmation to illustrate something that the community consider important. The response of the Samin community to the outside pressure of the cement industry has emerged into main way. The Samin people directly reject a market economy that is profit oriented. The rejection of the Samin community is through active participation from the beginning until they reach the final goal of their action. Their action started with an action plan and continue with demonstration in Semarang in Jakarta, and various other related activities. The Samin people are simply striving to fulfill their own daily needs so that can more appropriately be described as apathetic. Of these two patterns of reaction, it appears that direct participation is the main choice rather than the second response. The fact that the resilience of the Samin community has grown stronger in spite of the extraordinary pressure from outside is an affirmation and restoration of its existence as a community that is critical, independent, and hold a high bargaining position when dealing with anyone who tries to harm or disturb the harmonious way of life of this community and its descendants.